Does the new Super Mario Bros. Movie break the film to game curse? Nope, because I was already broken with Detective Pikachu. Great film. What's up again, YouTube? It's your boy MM back here, and we got the big one. Yes, it's the big one. The release day of Super Mario Bros. Movie. This is a brand new version of their review roundup. We're going to switch some things up. We're basically going to look at 5 critics and take a deep dive in why they give the score they give for the movie and what they're really thinking behind the reviews they're written. And so we're basically reviewing the reviews, basically. So let's get into it. And we'll start up first with LA Times' Katie Walsh.
Fortunately, this loud, hectic movie doesn't overstay its welcome, but it wouldn't have the material to last a second longer. It's bright, busy, inoffensive, and exactly the opposite of the weird, dark, edgy 1993 movie adaptation. That may be better for the business of Mario, but it's not exactly terribly interesting either. Wahoo, not quite.
So Miss Walsh is not pleased with this movie, not pleased at all. I read the entire review, and she just hated the breakneck speed of the film and plot without any substance. She didn't believe there was enough substance in the story, and she didn't find it funny. The jokes didn't land for her, and she basically just believed that this movie would just simply just going about its business and without explaining much. So that's LA Times' Katie Walsh. That's her opinion. Let's move on to the next. Here is BBC's Nicholas Barber.
The filmmakers are obviously so sure that they have a can't-fail franchise on their hands that they haven't even bothered with world building. No doubt their confidence is justified. The Super Mario Bros. Movie will probably make a fortune, because it is harmless and colorful enough to be almost adequate as an Easter holiday time passer for small children. Any adults accompanying those children may wish they were watching the Hoskins and Leguizamo film instead.
So Nicholas here is much more fired up about this than we saw with Miss Walsh on the LA Times here. He's just basically saying that this movie is shallow. He's just saying outright, straight up, movie is shallow. Movie is making use of his nostalgia and fan base, and all it cared about is just catering to that fan base without giving him more. He wanted explanation for why they're floating blocks or why he can power up for Mario that he can turn to a cat. He wanted a bit more grounded explanation for a lot of stuff that's happening in the film. So that's his opinion. He does not recommend this movie, and even though he believes it's going to move money, he's going to make money, he's going to make a lot of money, and there'll be a lot of sequels, and he believes because of that confidence they could not. This movie was too big to fail. Basically, they could do no wrong, so they didn't take any risk. Let's move on to Variety's Owen Gleiberman.
There have been approximately 50 movies based on video games, and most of them are terrible. I've had limited patience even for the ones that work, like the coolly depersonalized Resident Evil series or that first Lara Croft film. Mario presides over a digital playground that lifts the spirit to a place of split-second wonder, and the Super Mario Bros. Movie stays true to that. Its ingenuity is infectious. You don't have to be a Mario fan to respond to it, but the film is going to remind the millions who are why they call it a joystick.
So Owen stepping in here to bring a counterbalance, some positivity to balance the negativity. Yeah, he likes it. He loved this movie. He didn't exactly say he was a fan of the Super Mario franchise. He was aware of it, and he clearly not a big fan of video game movies in general. So he was swayed by the movie here. He loved, unlike Nicholas from BBC, he loved the surreal nature of the film. That it was more video game logic was there, and they weren't going out the way to try to be serious or going out the way to try to explain why there's a floating block there. They just had fun, and it was great. He also made note of how great the voicing of Bowser was by Jack Black, and how colorful and well animated the film was. So in Owen's eyes, I recommend. So we have to now move on to Lex Briscoso from the rap.
Ultimately, the animated adventure is an exciting thrill ride through some of the most beloved realms in the gaming world. It's hard not to fall in love with a film so earnest and proud of its origins. It's fast, fun, and certainly never boring to look at, a compliment well paid to the film's production design team, as well as the writers and directors Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic. The Illumination team came together as a whole to produce a movie worthy of standing toe-to-toe with Mario's storied legacy and, for the most part, the film does just that.
Okay, just look back at this exact line again by Alex here. It's fast, fun, and certainly never boring to look at. It basically saying you will just enjoy the visual splendor of this movie. You will, it's brisk. It's just a 92 minutes movie, and you will never, don't waste time trying to think about certain logic, what the movie is trying to portray. Just sit back and enjoy the visuals, the animation, the brisk nature of the game, not the game, sorry, the movie. This is good counter to what we saw with more of the negative reviews. You know, he's more love the fact that it was catering to the fans, the long time 30 years fans of the franchise. You know, he clearly see this movie was a love letter to Mario fans, and he think the movie pulled it off. So that's what Lex Briscoso from the Rap said. And finally we'll move on to Brian Tellerico, I hope I'm not butchering his name, from RogerEgbert.com.
There are so few actual decisions made in the construction of this film. It's just a collection of visual and character references cobbled together to form a 92-minute movie. Take a risk. Just do something. Anything. It got me thinking about the fun spin-offs that could exist, like a Mad Max, Fury Road version of the Mario Kart sequence that gets energy out of non-stop motion. Or a version that unpacks like the Lego Movie, that's more sharply aware of its references and world building, something that even incorporates the player like that movie does in the end. I swear that almost everyone who has played a game like Odyssey could come up with something more inventive. Heck, almost any 10 minutes of that game is more creative.
So Brian here is echoing what the LA Times and BBC is saying, and what majority of the critics are saying, really. He found it boring. He found it void of creativity. You know, he plays the games and he feel that the movie was just too streamlined to cater to the kids or casual. It was no risk taking. Again, according to him, he wanted to see more than just simply just giving back the game, trying to just reproduce the game back to people who already spent most of the years playing the game, already lived in Mushroom World. He wanted the Illumination to do something a bit different with the world, the Mushroom Kingdom. And while I can't understand where he's coming from, and we're going to discuss it more at the end here, but that's his Brian case here. He definitely wanted the animators to give him more reason to why I should come to theater and watch this movie instead of just going at home and playing Odyssey or Mario 64 again. And I can respect that. But let's take a deep dive into more of what the overall Rotten Tomatoes score is. So overall, Rotten Tomatoes score is 55% from 104 reviews. So it's hardly destined to take home an Oscar next year. It is an average score overall. And before you need to know fans get your pitchforks ready to go attack Rotten Tomatoes or these reviewers, just remember, you know, these reviews, roundups are more of a give a base understanding on what the film's about, and more than its gospel. You know, to me the movie still look exciting, and this is a classic case of fan versus critics that a lot of animators or creators will find themselves when they're taking a project like this, a beloved project like this. Like, who do you cater more to the fans or what the critics say? A lot of the critics going to look at the plot and want more, but we playing the game, playing a Mario game. You have never really cared about the plot. The plot though important. You just know Peach gonna be kidnapped, and it's going to be your job to get her ass back. That's important. Could they have done more to cater or incorporate newcomers to the Mario franchise? Maybe. I've not even watched the film myself, and maybe there is a case there to be called. But looking at the trailers, just looking at the film, it is clear this is a love letter. This is Miyamoto saying sorry for the 1993 movie. I think it was 93 movie. Here's a real Mario movie. You the guys deserve it. We do. This is a rarity to get a Nintendo movie, and hopefully when I get to watch it or you guys get to watch it, it was worth the wait, and so we can beg for more. Get a Zelda or Star Fox, a Kirby movie. A Kirby movie would be sick. So again, yeah, overall reviews, and keep in mind, I should also note this. Keep in mind that Rotten Tomatoes score is 53% for Madagascar. And I don't know about you guys, but Madagascar was freaking awesome. Madagascar was great. So again, don't take these scores to mean the end all be all. But it is good to note what the other side of critics are thinking. So majority of them really wanted the story and plot to be fleshed out more, while some even go further by saying they want in-game logics to be explained, like why there's a magical pipe from Brooklyn to the Mushroom Kingdom. Is Peach even human, or is she some metamorphosis transformation of the Toads? Things like that they want explained. While majority of the fans just want to see Mario doing cool shit in the animated Mushroom Kingdom world. We got that, but it's hopefully at the end of the day it is enjoyable for fans, and that's all we can ask for. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for this new review roundup. Right, please like, subscribe, and so you can look out for more. We're gonna have more doing for both animation and gaming, and I'll see you guys later.